Welcome to r/entitled people, where we share stories from your lives about people who think the rules don't apply to them, and they should get what they want. Thank you friends for subscribing to the channel, and for so many likes. And today we have 3 great stories, so subscribe, hit the like button, and let's begin. The first story. Racist Karen has become enemy number 1 in our community, and no one is happy for her here. She is banned from anywhere. The second story. Karen thinks she can do what she wants and get sales that have expired because she spends money at the store, leaves when told she can't. The third story. There's nothing like embarrassing Karen in front of witnesses. The first story is, well done Karen on being hated by an entire community. So this is an old story from a long time ago when I was still a child, with lots of energy. I think I was about 10 or 11 when this incident happened. I remember this day because it was something outstanding that I just couldn't forget. I'm also constantly reminded of it, and just remembered about it today, and thought why not share this story. So my dad used to work in a restaurant as a chef. Now this restaurant was owned by one of my dad's friends of the same ethnicity, and almost all the employees in the restaurant are the same ethnicity as me. We're a close, tight-knit community, that everywhere I go I'm bound to meet someone from that community, and we treat each other like family. So if I meet an older lady or man from my community, I refer them as auntie or uncle in our native language. One day my mom decided it would be nice to go out to eat instead of cooking, and dragged one of my older brothers, me and my younger sister. When we arrived at the restaurant where my dad works, we were greeted with loud, warm welcome in our native language. Now as a child, you can expect I'll be bored instantly, and phone at the time was a brick phone, so there wasn't any YouTube or games to play. All I had was my younger sister who was busy playing with her stuffed rabbit, an older brother to talk to, which also got boring at some point. So being a kid, I decided to look around the restaurant and shyly say hi to any of the customers, when I make eye contact with them. When suddenly I bumped into a lady, this really tall lady with long blonde hair and narrow blue eyes looking down on me with a sour expression. At the time, I was scared of any adults with a mean expression towering over me, so I began to cry. I called out for my mom in my native language, and here's when the terrible exchange happened. Karen. Oh my god, what's wrong with this child? Is she broken or something? Cause she's speaking gibberish. Mom runs and picks me up while speaking in our native language. It's okay, calm down, we'll eat some yummy food in a second, so stop crying. Karen. Oh my god, even the mother is speaking gibberish. Karen snaps her long twinkling fingers at my mom. Karen. Speak American. Otherwise your child will never grow up to survive in this D country. Don't you know everyone can speak American except for you, you racial slur? I also want to note we don't live in America, because our country is a mainly English-speaking country, and for some reason, Karen assumed English was American. My mom was confused, because her English isn't perfect, and the Karen spoke really fast before she can even translate it in her head. Everyone in the restaurant, including the customers, looked peeved already. One of the chefs from the kitchen walked out. We'll name him Uncle Roger. Uncle Roger in terrible English. Get out! Karen. Excuse me? Uncle Roger, terrible English. Get out! You're not welcome, you terrible lady. Karen laughs. Oh my god, speak properly, you D-racial slur. I have a lot of money, so you need to shut up. I can use these money wherever I want, and make them rich, thanks to me. So shut up and get to work, racial slur. Uncle Roger, terrible English. You're not welcomed here, so get out. Karen scoffs a laugh. You D-racial slur, shut up and get back to the kitchen and make me some food. You racial slur should just shut up and do your low minimum wage jobs and make me food. You should be thankful people like me are what's providing you people with income, so hurry up and make me my food. An elderly lady around 60 or 70 came from the back of the store with a tight, wrinkled, mean expression, and we'll name her Grandma Sophie. Grandma Sophie, not as bad English. I'm owner of store. Get out. We don't welcome you here. Karen flabbergasted. Excuse me? I'm a customer. Are you pushing away a potential customer? Grandma Sophie, not as bad English. I do not care. Get out, you racist. Gradually, all the employees, even those that aren't in the same community, yelled at her to get out of the store in perfect English, since majority of them are young and are studying English, compared to the older uncles, aunties, grandmas, and grandpas. A tall, bald white man who's one of the customers got up from his seat, and looms over Karen, and yells in her face to get out of the store right this instant, or he will call the cops. This irked Karen until finally she gave up and left. Outside the store were some other ladies who followed close behind Karen, but they didn't do anything and just watched. After they left, all the adults looked at each other happily. Grandma Sophie called the tall white man over for a warm smile and embrace, and told him and his family don't have to pay for their meal, because it was on the house as a thanks for helping. I was a kid at the time, and was still confused on what just happened, but all I knew was that I was happy that it ended with the Karen leaving. After that incident on that very same day, because of how close our community is, the words of this incident spread like a wildfire. Everyone knew in a second thanks to the use of crappy brick phones. Everyone in the community kept an eye out for this lady, and they actually managed to spot her. Also, because the Grandma Sophie, Uncle Roger, and the other members of the community ensured everyone took a good look at her face from afar. If they see her on the streets, they made sure other members take a good look at her and warn them about her. Because of how huge our community was, you can guarantee that in a street of restaurants and stores, about 70% of them has a member of our community, whether they own the business or they work there. Since it was obvious that Karen was an American and was visiting our country for holiday, a lot of the members made Karen's holiday miserable. Whenever she would enter the store, she would be told to leave, and was quickly banned from the store. Of course, Karen threw a fit about it, but she can't do anything when there's a lot of us gang together. If she tries to say anything racist towards one of the members, quickly they would shout racist over her words, and would silence out her mean words. If any members passed by her on the streets, they would chuckle and speak in English loudly about what she did to taunt her, and would always hint that she's racist. Hope she doesn't visit our country again. The second story is, Karen thinks that rules don't apply to her because I spend money here. This is a story about a regular Karen that comes into the store I work at. I'm a shift supervisor. She routinely is a pain and is very entitled. Her favorite thing to say to excuse her demands is, I deserve blank because I spend lots of money here. This particular incident is her most insane and entitled visit to our store yet. Our store is a small store in a small mall. Karen comes in and approaches me as I'm stocking some shelves. Karen, excuse me, I need tissues. I'm very sweaty. I'm a runner, you know. Me, hi ma'am. Unfortunately, we don't have any to give to customers due to COVID. However, there's a public bathroom across the hall that's open where our can freshen up. Or you can purchase some purse tissue or white packs. Karen, no, I'm a regular customer here. I've already spent enough, I don't need to buy it. Me, I'm sorry ma'am, but I don't have any tissues to give you. You'll either have to grab some from the washroom across the hall or buy some. Karen, but I'm a runner. You really should have some available for customers like me. Karen then walked away, and I turned back to my shelf before I heard the sound of a lot of wipes being pulled from the dispenser. This occurred during COVID times, so we have some sanitary wipes for wiping carts at the entrance and exit of the store. I walked around the corner to see Karen pulling wipe after wipe from the dispenser and putting them into a bag. We have a store policy that's posted in the dispenser, and the limit is 2 wipes per customer. Me, ma'am, please, you can't take all those. Those are for customers to clean their carts with. Please stop taking so many. Karen, I've spent hundreds of fillers here. I deserve a few wipes. She then stormed off further into the store, so I guess that got her to stop after all. I went back to the shelf and was left alone for around 30 minutes before I get a page to the cash. I go up to the front and I see Karen there looking peeved off, and my cashier looking confused. Cashier, hey, sorry to bother you, but could you check the price of this? This customer says it should be on sale. I look at the product and recognize it as a product that was on sale last week as a part of a promo. Me, I'm 99% sure this was on sale last week, but I'll go double check to make sure the tag is correct. I checked to see and the product then wanted was not on sale. However, a small version was. I came back and informed her as such. Karen, no, I don't want that one. I want the big one. It was on sale last week, but I couldn't come by and get it, so can I just get the sale price now? My cashier and I look at each other before I respond. Me, I'm sorry ma'am, but that's not how sales works. Do you have a rain check receipt? Karen, no, I wasn't able to come by. Just adjust the price. I spend so much here. I've paid all your wages, so just discount it for me. Me, I'm sorry, but I can't do that. The sale ended last week. You'll have to come back next time it's on sale. Karen, let me speak to your manager. I'm friends with the owner. They always give me the most recent sale price. I do as she asks and call the store manager up to the front. He comes up and hears what she has to say. To my glee, he says, Manager, the sale ended last week. You'll have to come back when it's in sale again. Karen, do you realize how much I spend here? I should get this on sale with how much I spend here. This place is corrupt. Manager, I'm sorry you feel that way. Unfortunately, we cannot give you a sale price. It's no longer applicable. Otherwise, we'd do it for everyone. Is there anything else we can do for you? Karen, no, this is disgusting. I'm not spending that much. Karen then stormed out without buying anything. What was the product she wanted? $3.99 toothpaste that was on sale for $1.99 last week. We had a smaller size of the exact toothpaste on sale for 99 cents that week. But no, she didn't want that one. And the last story is, you've waited 6 months, but do you mind if Karen goes first? So this happened a long time ago. I worked in the MRI department of a big NHS hospital as a receptionist. We had 3 MRI scanners. On a particular afternoon of the week, we offered same-day access for a certain private patient clinic. The patients in her clinic required an MRI scan as part of their workup, and the MRI department was happy to get the money generated. Because the MRIs were effectively done on demand, we're able to charge 2 to 3 times the usual fee, which worked out to about £1,500 per MRI. The extra moment allowed us to fund additional MRI lists for NHS patients who needed urgent scans. These extra MRIs were slotted in between the booked NHS MRIs, where the NHS patients have waited 4 to 6 months for a routine MRI and 2 to 3 weeks for an urgent MRI. It was made clear to the private patients that they were being fitted in around patients with a booked appointment time, so while they wouldn't get their scan the minute they walked in, it would usually be a 20-minute wait at most. I worked in the MRI department for about a year, and the vast majority of the same-day private patients were actually well-behaved and appreciated having their scan on the same as seeing the consultant. Naturally, we had the occasional complaint about waiting times, but usually they were a result of some of the MRI taking longer, or one of the MRI scanners breaking down. And then there was Karen. I'd worked in the department for about 8 months at this time, just long enough for me to know how lippy I could get with a patient and not get in trouble. The morning had not started off well. One of the MRI scanners had broken down, so we were trying to run 3 lists with only 2 scanners. And one of the other MRI scanners had a fault that had to be fixed. So by 1 p.m., just as the first private patient was due to arrive, we were nearly 2 hours behind and had 7 NHS patients whose appointment times had already come and long gone. Karen came in with her MRI form. I clerk her in and explain the current situation to her. I let her know she's likely to wait about 45 minutes. She huffs and puffs but sits down. About 10 minutes later, Karen comes up to the desk and asks how much longer she's going to have to wait. I tell her it's likely to be 35 minutes. Karen comes up 10 minutes later. I tell her their wait will be about 25 minutes. Just before she sits down, the next NHS patient gets called in for their scan. Karen trips off the line at this and demands to know why she wasn't called in for her scan. Why was someone called in ahead of her? I explained to her what she already knew, and that the patient just called in and had booked an appointment. Karen demanded to be the next person called in. I explained to her that there were 2 more patients ahead of her, and then she would be called in. Karen paraphrasing, "I don't see why I have to wait. I'm paying £1,500 for this MRI. These people are getting it for free." Me, "They've been waiting 6 months for this MRI. You've been waiting 20 minutes. Karen, "Since they've already waited 6 months, they won't mind waiting half an hour." Me, "Let's find out." Then loudly to the waiting room, "Ladies and gentlemen, this private patient has asked if she can cut in front of all you since she's paying for this MRI, and you've already waited 6 months, so another 30 minutes won't matter to you. Do any of you have an issue if she goes in next? I've never seen someone sit down and shut up so quickly." Subscribe, hit the like button, and have a nice day.